You know you are meant to do something significant in the world. You can feel a calling to be in the public eye, to create something, to mold reality for other people, to improve lives. Perhaps you've even felt this from when you were a young child. When thinking about your purpose, actually, a lot of people struggle with this, especially the more talented and gifted you are, the more hobbies and interests you have. And if you are a multi-potentialite, then you can set off in a new direction and find some fulfillment and some gratification. But the delineating factor between the resonance of purpose and novelty, because a lot of people love exploring new things. In fact, humans, we are biologically wired to both fear novelty, which is a barrier for reality shifting, but to also seek it in the safety and the confines of our familiar fabric of life. So when you're stable and when you have a rhythm going, you will be drawn to novelty, to break up the monotony of your life. But when you are reality shifting, then there is a threshold of tolerance for novelty. Just a little reminder, we've talked about it before, but if you're new here, then you might not know this. And so as a result, we humans can get excited about going on trips, meeting new friends, taking new classes, having adventures. And there's something rewarding about starting a new job or profession, even if it's daunting, even if it is a little cumbersome. It's also a little exhilarating. And so it can get confusing when we are looking for our path to purpose. I like to call it a path to purpose because very often, and this is no knock on anybody who coaches purpose for other people, because it's an extremely valuable skill. There are many books and questionnaires and coaching programs that will help you identify your purpose by speaking to you and accessing your mind, accessing your self-concept. What are your abilities? What are your passions? What are your talents? What are you knowledgeable at? What can you make money at? What challenges you? I've even developed one of these questionnaires that I sometimes do with clients. And so it can be very, very valuable. So when I say the next part, I don't mean to take away anything related to the value. I find that it creates a mindset problem because it tries to pinpoint one thing that people can set off and do and say, this is your purpose. And in my personal experience, even after early on in my journey, creating one of these assessment tools for myself to try to figure out what to do based on the knowledge of educational practices that I was familiar with and was trained on, I was like, at the end of it, I got my answers. And I was like, now what do I do? Because it was all theoretical. And what I have observed in my own journey is that it has been a path. And the questionnaire that I developed broke it down into heart-centered, ego-centered, mind-centered, and where I was comfortable and uncomfortable. Because what I realized about myself is that I was all about chasing the mind and the ego and the science and the old way of doing things, but there was a part of my soul that was craving to do something else. And so if I took a traditional assessment that you can find online, like the PKT, or there's another one, a more complex one, what would happen is that I would box myself in, because everything that I've ever known and everything that I've ever done has been egoic and mind-driven. And I could feel that there was a part of me that needed to open up more. And this is why I call it a path to purpose, because I set out on a path realizing what I was actually afraid to do, what I was called to do, and feeling like there were things on the list that I had no idea about, which was true. That's another reason that I find the assessments to be a little lacking sometimes. Because when you are closed down to your destiny or your purpose or that level of vibration, you can run in circles. You can do mental gymnastics all day long. And you can complete as many assessments as you want to, but there's still going to be something hidden inside of you waiting to be discovered. And this is where I have found that exploring interests and opening up uncomfortable skills and abilities, meaning you have to take a class, you have to receive training, or you practice in front of other people. I did this with my singing. I've talked about it before. And where I forced myself to sing in front of other people. And because I knew that there was a part of me that needed to open up my voice. And when I took the purpose assessment years prior, singing was not on the list. And yet it got me closer to my purpose when I started pushing myself into the unknown, opening up my artistic merit. A long time ago, it was incredibly difficult for me to express my artistic side whatsoever. So naturally, when taking one of those assessment tools, and if I had signed up for a coaching program, I might not have ever gotten to where I got. And so when we understand that purpose is actually a vibration, this is the point. We step beyond the test. We step beyond the mind, and we realize it's actually an energy signature. One of the telltale signs, it's not the only one, and it's not the be-all, end-all, but when I started aligning with the vibration of purpose, what I found is that I was excited to wake up in the morning. I was energized. And I felt like, this is unbelievable. I can't believe I get to do this. I can't believe I get to do this and make money doing it. I can't believe it. And here is the best part. Having that feeling when you go to sleep. I've never had this before. Actually looking forward to going to bed. Why? Because you get to wake up and do it again tomorrow. Isn't that incredible? And that's after an entire day when you're feeling fatigued, when you're feeling like, wow, I really gave a lot of myself, and you still feel excited and jazzed about what you're doing. I can't believe I get to do this. I can't believe this is my life. I can't believe I can support myself doing this. This is incredible. There's a level of satisfaction that even when you're putting in the reps, it doesn't feel like work, but you know it's work because you're having to apply and push yourself. You're applying your energy, your skills, your ability. It's not always fun. There are challenges, but for some reason, the challenges don't affect you in the same way. And the vibration of that is completely different. And I've had jobs before where I've been excited to wake up and to meet those challenges head on. But I've never been excited to wrap up my day so I could do it again tomorrow. And when I've been excited about the challenges at the job, it was because I was pushing myself into the unknown. I was gaining skills and abilities and leveling myself up, and I found that gratifying. And there was an element of novelty. But the level of energy drain was incredibly intense. And burnout happened actually quite quickly because of how intense I was working. And so as a result, there wasn't a refilling of my energy stores whenever I was depleted. And when you start to align with purpose, you do have to manage your energy. You do have to make sure everything is balanced. But I find very often that I want to give more to my purpose projects than is recommended. Meaning, I like to go faster than they can go because I'm so enthusiastic about it. And so what I'm having to learn to do is to actually pull back and rest more and take some downtime, because I don't have to throw everything at all of my purpose-driven projects all at once. And there's actually merit in approaching manifestations kind of like a wave and watering different projects at different times. But my frustration comes with feeling like everything is too slow because I'm ready. I'm here. I'm present. I'm like, let's go. Let's do it. Let's go. And sometimes things like little seeds have to sprout and grow at their own pace. And that's really important for the integrity of what you're growing. And you can fertilize it, of course, but too much fertilizer and you will burn the plant. So the right amount of water and energy, the right conditions are very important. And when you are connected with purpose, there is this other level that you're able to access of magnetism and devotion, because you're not just coming at it from the mind. And that's why I feel as though that to try to search for your purpose from the mind is a futile exercise. I've been to a conference where we did exactly this with a room full of people. And what I wrote down at that time, because I was still early on my spiritual awakening, now in retrospect, was like, I came up with the best answer that I could. And looking back, I was way too early to get anywhere close to what purpose actually was. And this is what I want to convey to you, because I have a lot of listeners that are, I've spoken with you, that are interested in connecting with your purpose. And almost everybody listening, everybody on this path feels connected to something bigger than them and feel a calling to put something out into the world that is meaningful, that is impactful, that leaves a legacy. And it's understanding what your unique contribution is based on your experience, your skills, your strengths, and your energetic alignment. And when you do it too early, it's like trying to imagine what it would be like as a chicken before the egg is fertilized. You could have lots of ideas about it, but you're not really going to understand what it's like until you get closer there. So the best advice that I can give you to align yourself with the path of purpose is actually what Bashar advises people. And I find this to be absolutely perfect advice for a variety of different settings, but especially when it comes to understanding what your purpose is. And that is to follow your highest excitement, your highest passion in the moment, whatever that is, and allow it to change. And what Bashar teaches is that when you do that and you maintain the fluidity, so you go from one project you're really excited about, and then you have an opportunity for another project, and you're a little more excited to do that other project, then go to that other project. Because what happens is that over time, you're going to gain the skills, abilities, opportunities, the doors that are going to open and open and open, that are going to lead you to the vibration of purpose. Because sometimes you don't even know what is going to connect with you at that purpose level until you experience and open up certain gifts and abilities that could be closed to you. So one fail-safe way to do this is to explore your interest and follow the interest that you could talk an hour at a cocktail party about and bore other people. Don't actually do that. Like we're going to have social skills, but you're that excited that you could actually monologue to other people or talk to your cat or your dog for hours on end. And when that topic changes, that's fine. Change topics, because you're going through the process of opening yourself up, of integrating knowledge. Everything is valuable. There's nothing wasted. And the more you feel drawn to explore, the more you learn technique, the more you learn, perhaps it is marketing or content creation, the more you start to immerse yourself in certain circles, which then open opportunities for you that you would never be able to anticipate if you were just filling out a survey. And so what happens is that your reality starts to manifest itself around you, aligned with purpose, when you start following your passions. The only caveat that I'll say is that you should also be feeling uncomfortable and putting yourself out there in unusual ways that you might not put high on your list right now. So, for example, if you have an inclination to sing and somebody invites you to karaoke, but you're shy actually about singing, but you feel you've always wanted to sing. And I know I have some listeners that are interested in singing. I don't know if you're listening right now, but when you receive this, it's great advice. Don't shy away from opportunities that bring you closer to the dreams that you've always had when you were a little kid. Perhaps it is entering a poetry contest. Who cares if you're going to win or not? But if you want to, if you've always had this urge or fascination with poetry, then putting yourself out there in that direction, even if it's uncomfortable, even if you're afraid of being judged, is going to open up your confidence and your abilities to allow you to get closer to that alignment if it is indeed aligned with your purpose. And the other advice is to think back to what you've always been drawn to, even as a little kid, because very often the thread of purpose was there the entire time. But above all else, remembering that it is a path and not just a questionnaire answer will align your mindset to open up to the vibration of purpose.